once, yea, twice, but we don't feel it. He said, live. That's why we living. I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thy hair is grown, whereas thou wast naked and bare. Just thrown out in the field somewhere. You came out the womb bloody. He didn't say it. He said it. That's why he said it a few times, so we get the message. Nobody pitied us. Nobody cared that we was out there in the field, bloody. Still, with the mother's neighbor cord on us, umbilical cord on us. Excuse me. You say, now when I passed by thee, I looked upon thee. He said, I looked on you, Israel. Behold, thy time was the time of love. Hear that? He said, when he passed by us, he looked on us and said, behold, the time that I seen, when I seen you, it was a time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. Yeah, I swear unto thee and entered into a covenant, a contract with thee, with us, and said the most high power, and thou becamest mine. He said, entered into a contract with us. A covenant is a contract with us. He said, and we became his. So thou became mine. He said, then washed I thee with water. Yeah, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil. I clothed thee. Listen what he did. I clothed thee also with broidered work. That ain't just some regular sewing. Broidered work. High-powered emblems and so things that we had in our clothes. Broidered work. And shod thee with badger skin. And I girded thee about with fine linen. And I covered thee with silk. Listen, I decked thee also with ornaments. And I put bracelets upon thy hands. And a chain on thy neck. So we had jewelry. Say, I put a bracelet on thy hands and a chain on thy neck. And I put a jewel on thy forehead. See that? I put a jewel on our forehead. And earrings in thine ears. So we had earrings, y'all. A jewel on our forehead and earrings in thine ears. And a beautiful crown upon thine head. We had crowns. Royalty. Thus was thou decked with gold and silver. So we were decked with gold and silver. And thy raiment was of fine linen and silk and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil. And thou was exceedingly beautiful. Hear what he said? And thou was exceeding beautiful. And thou didst prosper into a kingdom. So these nations knew. That's why, it talks about how the Ammonites, most I talk about how they say, hey, where your beauty at now? When they messed us over. We was in captivity under the Ammonites and the Moabites and the Jewish people, who was Amalek, which is Ammon, which is the Japanese and Moab, the Chinese, and the Jewish people together for 18 years. So, you know how beautiful we are as a nation. We got the most beautiful women in the world. Y'all, ain't nobody can touch our women. They want to be like our women. They don't want to be our women, but they want to be like them in the looks that they have naturally. It's powerful. What did he say? He said, and thou was exceeding beautiful. You hear that? We was exceeding beautiful. And thou didst prosper into a kingdom. And thou renown of old went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. Remember when I'll show you, Judah. It's and Esther, they had their own books. and thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. For it was perfect through my comeliness, to my beautifulness, which I had put upon thee. You hear that? Which I had put upon thee, said the Most High. He made us beautiful. He made us handsome. He made us women. Comeliness means beautiful. He said exceeding beautiful. Not beautiful, but exceeding beautiful. Man, that's powerful. Don't it sound good? It sound good to me. Verse 15. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty. He made us beautiful. He made men handsome. He made women beautiful. Exceeding beautiful, I might say. Nothing like that beauty. But thou didst trust in thine own beauties. Here we go. He the one did it. But we did trust in our own beauty and played the harlot because of thy renown and poured out thy fornications. Hear this? Idolatry on every one that passed by. His it was. Man. That's cold. You what it said? But thou didst trust in thine own beauty. You're so beautiful. Like a lot of women, they use their beauty to enchant men. Wink at them and they look at her. I mean, you ain't gotta wonder how they look because their clothes so tight and they revealing so much that you already know what you're gonna get. Ain't no question of what it might be. You pretty much know what you're gonna get. That's what it say. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty that the Most High gave us, and played the harlot because of thy renown, and poured out thy fornications on everyone that passes by. His it was. You hear that? Going against the Most High. He telling us just what you do. Obey me. He made us beautiful. More beautiful, you can say, than anybody else in the world. We the chosen people of the Most High. Don't let me get into the inventions that we invented. Without our inventions, this place would be primitive. Better ask somebody. I'm telling you. But we took our beauty and played the harlot against the Most High because of thy renown, and pour out thy fornications. Not only fornication, but fornications. Idolatry, man. On everyone that passed by. His it was. That's why the Most High stripped us. Oh, you so beautiful? Okay, the Most High stripped you butt naked. Butt naked in chains and shackles. Anything went. You had no power at all. Wasn't no high-minded Israelites rolling then. And of thy garments thou didst take, and deck thy high places with diverse colors. These idols that we set up to replace the Most High. Remember what he said? In verse 10, I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck. I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thine head. What we do? Verse 60, and of thy garments, bad garments, broidered work, of thy garments thou didst take, and deck thy high places with diverse colors. Took our garments and decked these statues, these idols, and played the harlot, played the whore, played the prostitute against the Most High. Fornication, therefore, thereupon, the like things shall not come, neither shall it be so. Thou hast also taken thy fair jewels of my gold, the Most High's gold, and of my silver that he gave us, which I have had given thee, and made it to thyself images of men, and didst commit whoredom with them. That's spiritual fornication, y'all. And took it thy broidered garments, as he told us in verse 10, I clothed thee also with broidered work. So we took our broidered garments and covered them. We took our garments that he put upon us. Remember he said he made us exceeding beautiful? We took what he gave us in us being exceeding beautiful to make us beyond imagination of anybody else. And we took these broidered garments and covered them. That's something. And thou hast set mine oil and mine incense before them. My meat also, in which I gave thee fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed thee, thou hast even set it before them, for a sweet savor. And thus it was said, thus it was said the Most High power. We put the things that the Most High gave us before something we made and put our clothes on it that he gave us to make us exceeding beautiful. And was prospering into a kingdom, and that wasn't, we just crazy, man. It's just, when you read this, it's just, Nita just took us and they had insane asylum, just to put all these people in insane asylum. Until this day, man. Because it's hurtful to look at what he done with us and to us and for us, and we turn around and make statues and take our beautiful garments off and put it on these statues and say, this is the Most High. This is what we believe in. And set food, incense, oil, all the things he gave us, fine, like I say, what? My meat, also, verse 19, which I gave thee fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed thee, thou hast even set it before them. And you wonder why we went into captivity, slavery, and bondage over and over and over again. For a sweet savor. And thus it was, said the Most High power. Listen, we only do that. Listen, moreover, thou hast taken thy sons and thy daughters, whom thou hast borne unto me, and these hast thou sacrificed unto them to be devoured. Is this of thy whoredoms a small matter? Took our sons and daughters and sacrificed them to these idols that we learned from these other nations. That thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them. So when you look at all these things that we did, the Most High is the one that bring forth these children. That's why he said, thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them. For them? For these idols, man. We offered up our children to these idols of these other nations. And in all thine abominations, filthy wicked acts, sins, and thy whoredoms, thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou was naked and bare, and was polluted in thy blood. Remember when we started? Verse 2, Son of man, call Jerusalem to know her abominations, filthy wicked acts. Verse 4, and as for thy nativity, our birth, in the day that thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supply thee. Thou was not salted at all, nor swallowed at all. None I pitied thee, to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee. But thou was cast out in the open field, thrown out in the open field, to loathing of thy person in the day that thou was born. He said, and when I passed by thee, I saw thee polluted in thine own blood. I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live. Yeah, I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live. Why are you saying? Verse 22, in all thy abominations, and thy whoredoms, thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou was naked and bare. Like a lot of people don't remember the time where they come from. They come up, next thing you know, it's like them that did everything in their life. Don't remember the Most High. They ain't talking about the Most High. When thou was naked and bare, and was polluted in thy blood, and it came to pass after all thy wickedness, woe, destruction, unto thee, said the Most High, that thou hast also built unto thee an eminent place, and hast made thee an high place in every street. Thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and hast made thy beauty to be abhorred, beauty to be hated. And thou openeth thy feet to every one that passes by. You open up your feet, you open up your legs. You open up your feet, everyone that passes by, and multiply thy whoredoms. Straight up. Prostituting, being hoes, being harlots. You hear what he said? And has opened thy feet to everyone that passes by, and multiplied thy whoredoms. Thou hast also committed fornication, what we talk about, with the Egyptians, thy neighbors, greater flesh, and has increased thy whoredoms to provoke me to anger. Hear that? Let you know. Committed fornication with, most of them wanted to be with no other nations. But now, we committed fornication. Remember it said, you open their feet. You open up your feet. You dealing with open up your legs to have sex. Thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians, thy neighbors, greater flesh, and hast increased thy whoredoms to provoke me to anger. Behold, therefore I have stretched out my hand over thee, and have diminished thine ordinary food, and delivered thee unto the will of them that hate thee. Hear that? See, I've delivered you to the will of those that hate you, the daughters of the Philistines, which are ashamed of thy lewd way. Hear that? The daughters of the Philistines, these Egyptians, daughters of the Egyptians, are ashamed of the women of our nation's lewd way. Look how they are now. That's what Moses said. He's going to make our glory, which is our women, shameful. Having no class, having no ability to even care about themselves, to know that this is where they come from. While the Most High said, woe, destruction unto thee, said the Most High. He's not going to bless you. He's not going to bless the daughters of the Philistines. The other nations, women, shamed of the lewdness of the Israelite women. Thou hast played the whore also with the Assyrians, because thou was unsatiable. Yeah, thou hast played the harlot, sold your bodies with them, and yet couldn't not be satisfied. Thou hast moreover multiplied thy fornication in the land of Canaan unto Chaldea, and yet thou was not satisfied herewith. Nothing was satisfying them. You sleeping with the Egyptians, sleeping with the Assyrians, sleeping with the Chaldeans, and everybody else. And yet thou was not satisfied herewith. How weak is thine heart? He said, how weak is your mind? How weak is your mind? Said the Most High Power, seeing thou doest all these things, the work of an imperious, whorish woman. You hear that? The work of imperious, whorish woman. It's cold, man. It's cold. Look what he said. Look at verse 30. He said, but as a wife that committed adultery, which taketh strangers instead of her husband, a wife that lay down with another man when she had her husband to lay with, which taketh strangers, somebody she don't even know that she just meeting, instead of her husband, they give gifts to all whores. Hear that? They give gifts to all whores. What do you need, baby? Okay, they ain't got to deal with their life. They ain't got to deal with their personal life. They just give gifts to all whores. But thou givest thy gifts to all thy lovers, and hirest them, that they may come unto thee on every side for thy whoredoms. You getting something from here, you give it to them. You get something from them, they lay something out for you, and here you are giving it to someone else. In your whoredoms. And the contrary is in thee from other women in thy whoredoms, whereas now, none followeth thee to commit whoredoms, and in that thou giveth a reward, and no reward is given unto thee, therefore thou art contrary. So you give us things out, but ain't nothing coming to you. That's why you call you whoredom. Even though prostitutes get paid, they get money. You say, wherefore, O harlot, hear the word of the Most High. Thus said the Most High Power, all you that prostitute your body, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, laying with this man, that man, or then laid around with men, and with all the idols of thy abominations, and by the blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them, these idols. That right there is just very touching when you think about, children that's innocent and they don't know. Think about mommy, daddy, they loving you, mommy, and then we gave them up to be burned in the fire. That's cold, man. That's some real. Man, the blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them. Gave our children up to be burnt in the fire. And you standing there in front of watching them burn. Mommy. Man, what kind of mindset is this? Behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved, with all them that thou hast hated. I will even gather them round about against thee, and will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness, the ones you hate, the ones you don't like. So he said, I'm going to get them. The ones that hate you. Man, I'm just, y'all just bear with me. It's just so, I have a lot that I wanted to bring out, but just going into this, it's like so heartfelt for me. It's like, how could we do the Most High like this? How could we do ourselves like this? And I will judge thee as women that break wedlock. He said, I'm going to judge you as a woman that break wedlock, a woman that commit adultery and shed blood. Excuse me, let me read again. And I will judge thee as women that break wedlock meaning they go out and lay with another man when they marry, and shed blood are judged. And I will give thee blood in fury and jealousy. And I will also give thee into their hand. I'm going to give you into the, he said, I'm going to give you to the hand of those that you hate. Not your lovers, the one that you making money or you laying with and ain't got nothing to show for it. But those that you hate, he said, I'm going to give you to those that you hate. Can you imagine somebody you hate? They coming and they taking your body. And I will also give thee into their hand, and they shall throw down thine eminent place, and shall break down thy high places. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes. Hear that? And shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare. He say he gonna take away your clothes and leave you naked and bare. He said, I will strip thee also of thy clothes. Them clothes that he gave us and we put on the dang on idols. He said, this is the people that you hate. And I will also give thee into their hand the people that you hate. And they shall throw down thine eminent place, and shall break down thy high places. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes, and shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare, but naked. They shall also bring up a company against thee, and they shall stone thee with stones, gonna kill you, and thrust thee through with their swords. Not only that, some of you gonna put to death. After they done raped you and did all the things they're gonna do to you. And they shall burn thine houses with fire, and execute judgment upon thee in the sight of many women. You hear that? And they shall burn thine houses with fire, and execute judgments upon thee in the sight of many women. And I will cause thee to cease from playing the harlot, and thou also shalt give no hire anymore. You ain't giving your body out for hire no more. So will I make my fury toward thee to rest. Remember what he said? And I will give thee blood and fury and jealousy. He said, I will cause thee, verse 41, I will cause thee to cease from playing the harlot, and thou also shalt give no hire anymore. You ain't selling your body to nobody no more. So will I make my fury toward thee to rest once I stop it, and you stop it. And my jealousy shall depart from thee, and I will be quiet. It will be no more angry, because thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, but hast fretted me in all these things. Behold, therefore, I also will recompense thy way upon thine head, said the Most High Power. And thou shalt not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations. That lewdness represent, women showing themselves and showing their private parts and so forth. Their lewdness is tight. If you ain't gotta be concerned, you don't know about what it is that they got. You can see. Some things you can see through. The clothes that they make now, you can see right through. You don't want to underwear, they see everything. You can see everything. You ain't got to wonder what it is. You see it. Been over all there, everything. Whatever. You ain't got to have no imagination. You see it. That's what they got us now. And dressing and so forth. Behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. Everybody that uses this proverb against thee shall say, they're going to be saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. So if the mother's a hoe, the daughter's going to be a hoe. If the mother's a harlot, then the daughter's going to be harlots. That's what he's saying. Thou art thy mother's daughter. Thou loathest her husband and her children. And thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loathe their husbands and their children. Your mother was an Hittite, and your father was an Amorite. He said that before. Why he saying that? Because he said, get rid of everything that they believe in. These heathen Africans. But he's saying, your mother was a Hittite and your father an Amorite. Why he said it? Because we got to look at why he said it. He said it twice. Go back to Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. And let's look at verse 1. It said, when the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee. This is what he say. The Hittites. He just said, your mother is a Hittite. Right? He cast out many nations before thee. The Hittites and the Girgasites. And here we go for the other one he said. And the Amorites. He said, your mother is a Hittite and an Amorite. And the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, kill them, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant, no contract, no agreement with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his sons. Meaning we supposed to be laying with these. That's what he's talking about. We just reading about what our daughters of Zion did. He said, thou shalt not make any marriages with them, or they was playing the harlot. They was playing the hoe. Most of us said they was playing the hoe. It was laying down with them, with no money. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods, other idols, their idols. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them, which we didn't do. Ye shall destroy their altars, whatever they believe in, their gods, their idols, and break down their images. Whatever they have, or standing up images or whatever. He said, destroy it. And cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. He told us, for thou art an holy people, talking to we the children of Israel. Unto the Most High thy power, the Most High thy power hath chosen thee, we the children of Israel, to be a special people. How special? Unto himself, unto the Most High, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's why he's saying what he's saying, because we didn't do that. And we took on the ways of the heathen. When he told us, Jeremiah 10:2, learn not to wear the heathen. We took on their ways. That's why he said your mother is a Hittite and an Amorite. Because we followed just what they were doing. When he said don't do it, we did it. That's why he said in verse 45 of Ezekiel 16 chapter, he say, your mother was a Hittite, and your father an Amorite. When the Most High said destroy them. No, we didn't. And now an elder sister is Samaria. That's northern Israel. Talk about the northern tribes. She and her daughters that dwelt at thy left hand, and thy younger sister that dwelleth at thy right hand in Sodom and her daughters. You know what's happening in Sodom. A whole lot of wickedness. Yet hast thou not walked after their ways, nor done after their abominations, but as if that were a very little thing, thou was corrupted more than they in all thy ways. You say, you ain't walking their abominations, but you have created other abominations that's worse than what they did. As I live, said the Most High Power, Sodom, thy sister, hath not done. She nor her daughters, as thou hast done. Thou and thy daughters, man. That's cold. You know what the Most High did to Sodom? He brought fire. He brought some kind of fire down from heaven, from the sky, that burnt that place up and left the remnant of it there, all the way from Genesis, all the way to now. And you can see the buildings, you can see the Hamite statues that they had up on poles, heads on poles. You see all kind of things. You can't enter because you got it blocked off. You got whatever it is that he made. He didn't burn it down. He burnt it. It's like one thing I think of is like walking on foam rubber or something. And you can't light it up, it do burn. Whatever it is, sulfur, whatever it is that he caused that place to burn, those cities, you can still see them. Some you got to go to a mountain to look down upon, take a telescope and look down and see them, or have a camera that can, zoom in to look at this Sodom and this few cities that he burnt up, but he left the remnants of them there. That's something that nobody talks about. That's all the way back in Genesis to now. That exists, but you see the ancient way they built things in ancient times. They had pillars and everything holding up the front of it, but you can't go in because he closed up everything with whatever this material is that he burned it up to leave that remnant of Sodom and Gomorrah, those cities. So, I mean, I'm gonna end because I'll go through this whole chapter. It's so, but you get the point. What we did and how we were operating, against the Most High, especially the daughters of Zion. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha 14th chapter. And verse 7. Wisdom of Solomon 14:7. It says, "For blessed is the wood whereby righteousness cometh." You know, paper is made out of wood. So it's talking about the Bible. It says, "Blessed is the wood," or the Bible, "whereby righteousness cometh." And we know righteousness is the keeping of the Most High's law, statutes, commandments. "But that which is made with hands, as we did, and making different idols, is cursed, as well it as he that made it." So anybody that has anything that they can look that's before them, they can see something tangible and they pray into it, that's idolatry. As he that made it, somebody made it for you to put before you and pray to it, that's idolatry. He, because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God. It was called the Most High. Something that you could stand before or kneel before and pray, bow down before. The Most High said you're supposed to do that. Let's get that. In the 10 Commandments in Exodus 20. Exodus the 20th chapter, which is the 10 Commandments that we go over in our prayer. Exodus 20:3. "Thou shalt have no other gods, no other idols before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth." You can't have anything that you can see. He said, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers, the wickedness of the father upon the children, unto the third and fourth generations of them that hate me." You see that? "And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments."